Hello again, everybody. Welcome to CTN's Game of the Week. We're at Hill Pool on the campus of Ann Arbor Pioneer High School. We've got ladies water polo with the visiting River Rats here against the Pioneers. Kevin, tell us a little bit more about what we're going to see.
Well, I'll tell you what, Nick, when we get these two teams in the pool, it's always exciting. The better hand is going to Huron. Maybe the home field advantage or home pool advantage will go to Pioneer this time. They're looking to right the ship.
Right on. Duel in the pool coming up. Stick around. And here we go, everybody. Once again, back to Hill Pool for CTN's Game of the Week. Here on River Rats at 11-2, Pioneers 7-11-1, and the face-off. And we'll have our ball drop momentarily. The sprint to the ball. Got the home squad Pioneers moving right to left on your TV or computer screen. But it's the initial opening salvo from the Huron River Rats.
Our first turnover, Nick, that's a minor infraction, so just change of possession because the ball wasn't inside that 5-meter mark.
Great call on that. Again, not everybody knowing all of the rules as water polo comes along, but Kevin Bryant brings the fury every single week.
They actually named a book after me, Water Polo for Dummies. So third time, Nick, these two teams have played each other, both times the Rats coming out on top. And you were telling me before, it's amazing that the Rats roster size is what it is.
No, you're absolutely right. Again, you look out at that pool or you look out at that bench for the River Rats, they've got one young lady sitting on that bench. So when that's going on, you know if your record's 11-2, you are doing really well. But again, you're going to be tuckered out by the end of the match, I got to think.
It's amazing. Just think if someone gets hurt, sick. I mean, what happens? I'm sure they'll probably bring someone up from JV to fill out the roster, which kind of in turn keeps the program really fruitful as far as, getting some varsity level experience, right?
And that is absolutely one of the huge things about all three of these programs that we've got going on in Ann Arbor, between Huron, the Pioneers, and the Skyline Eagles. They've really come along with making programs, not teams, but programs. And that starts from JV freshman team all the way up through senior situations. And that's why they're also as successful consistently as they are.
Well, in the cage down there for the River Rats, I believe that's Faith Baker, just a sophomore, something that the Rats could lean on for the next couple of years, I'm sure, sporting a very nice 11-2 record to start off this season with.
For sure, and Coach Gottliebson had a lot of really good things to say about Faith Baker. He's talked to her about how even keel she is, how she doesn't let things bother her, and anytime a goal goes in, she thinks about or asks about how could I have done that differently. And Gottliebson was a heck of a goaltender himself, both at Pioneer and he played out for the University of California, Santa Monica, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice. So he's very familiar with this area and coaching the people that's in the cage.
Exactly.
And that's a quick shot there of Emma Packard in the net for the Pioneers.
Beautiful segue there. Beautiful segue. Textbook, actually.
Touche. Thank you, sir. Man, that's a lot of compliments. Especially since you didn't even introduce me at the beginning of the telecast.
That is true.
I mean, people are like, who's that guy next to Nick?
That's what lower third graphics are for. Once again, the crack team at CTN's Game of the Week will have those lower thirds out there.
Gotta mess with your partner.
For what it's worth, I don't think I introduced myself either.
I don't think so either. I was waiting. Nice pass.
Back to the action here. Pass right into that hole set position.
That might be a penalty shot because she was inside the 3 minute. Oh, no, they didn't call the penalty shot. They actually just called a minor infraction, very close to inside that 3 meter mark there. And folks, for you on TV, you can see the yellow, what would we call those, buoys?
I will call them buoys.
Yeah, yellow buoys. That'll mark the 5 meter mark, and then the red would be the 3 meter mark, and then the purple, well, that is going to be the 2 meter mark. See, that's why we watch YouTube. And then we have, of course, the goal line.
Right you are, Kevin. A little bit of action there. You saw the River Rats working the ball around. Once again, Coach Gottliebson told me that is actually not the strongest portion of the River Rocks game. They are much more adept at scoring when they're driving forward, not a perimeter set offense.
So they will dump it probably down into the hole man and then do some rotations either to the strong side or weak side depending on where their offense is set in that possession.
And ideally they're going to try to fast break and move and beat players as quickly as possible.
So big for the Pioneers as far as those turnovers to limit them. And we were mentioning that last week when we were on our Game of the Week with Skyline and Pioneer, that they definitely had to possess those possessions.
No, absolutely. And again, like you mentioned about with Pioneer, they are known to shoot outside. They've got a lot of really strong arms for those outside shots. Again, Pioneer, from what Coach Gottliebson was telling me, that is not the strongest portion of their game. As you can see right now, she's driving in a little bit, maybe looking for someone else, but not really willing to take that shot right there.
It's a very good one. You can see how their offense methodically moved closer and closer and closer inside, and they kind of, suffocate the Pioneer defense. Just that shot didn't have a lot of pepper on it.
And again, the Pioneer defense on that one also, they didn't kind of crack on it. They let Baker kind of try, do what you do, keep looking for what she did, and give the opportunity to take that shot because they were confident in her doing that, basically. Strong shot there by Starasta for the Pioneers.
Yeah, just a bit wide on that shot.
Mm-hmm.
Good thought process, though, to go high and wide, especially shooting on the outside of the netminder. Let's take a quick look at that one, Nick. Inches away, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But again, great positioning there by Faith Baker, the cager from the Huron River Rats. And here you see the Rats making some moves there. Back to Emma Packer, the senior netminder for the Pioneers. She's got a few goals on the season. She scored a goal against Huron.
You're kidding.
No,
you're kidding.
I would not kid you. Well, not that far back, but she just drove it forward, found a good shot. It's about mid-pool. Yeah, the last matchup between these two, it was a 2-1 victory where the Rats came out victorious. But, the one goal scored by Emma Packard.
It kind of looks like now there's a nice wet pass into the corner dropped in there by the Pioneers, but ran out of time on the shot clock. But you can see how when last week and this week's game, not a lot of offense to begin the contest. Both teams seem to be feeling each other out.
And the feeling out process, I guess it happens from game to game, but again, kind of strange. They played each other. This is their third meeting. And the second meeting in the last 3 days. Elena Baker there slowly pushing forward, try to just lob it over Packard. Again, not a strong shot, not anything with a lot of torque on it, just trying to kind of work around or try to lob something over the cager on that one.
And Melcher did a good job. I'm sorry, check that. That was Riggs on the defense for the Pioneers, getting in the shot, getting in the way of the offensive player.
For sure. And that's such a huge part of any team game like this is your defense getting in there and helping out. And there's a big shot by Molly Riggs from kind of the outer area. And again, we'll see the Pioneers take those shots, but the River Rats less so. Faith Baker getting it started. Really aggressive play there by Kurzakowski to kind of jump ahead.
She's just
fast break going
really.
A little bit, yeah.
Never fell back on the defensive end. A good job with that turnover.
Yeah, Jenny Kurzakowski. You see a lot of the Pioneer offense starting off with her, but that was a great job. I guess in a forecheck is, I guess, the best term you could use to call for that.
Well, she really did. She cut off that and really kind of pivoted right in front of the swimmer for Huron.
There you see Melcher just kind of get a half-hearted shot there.
There's a block on that play by Christine Clyde on the shot. She's one of the captains for Huron.
Quick play right now up to Sophie Flott.
And this is what you're talking about, Nick, about those long passes and trying to get early offense in the transition.
And as this quarter has moved really quickly, that is the end of the first quarter
Blink your
here
eye, it's
at
over.
Hill Pool. With our score 0-0, no goals being scored, nothing making it into the twine. We're going to take a break. Stick around and we'll be right back with CTN's Game of the Week.
I just wish there was some place I could watch my favorite local TV shows. Whoa! Ah! Cool, where am I? I want to know! What is this place?
You are in a computer terminal.
Who said that?
I am the god of computers, electrical devices and social media interfaces.
This is awesome!
I heard your wish and granted you access to my terminal.
Whoa, really? I've always wanted to be inside one of these things. So what's next?
Visit CTN's and the City of Ann Arbor's streaming and video on demand 82gov.org/watchctn.
This is awesome! What do I do there?
Here you can watch city meetings, community-produced programs, school board and education programming, and a whole lot more.
Yes! This is great!
The live streams include CTN's 4 channels: government, public, educational, and community. Just click the sidebar for the channel you prefer and click play.
There's 4 channels here. I can watch 4 channels. Cool.
For video on demand, go to youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor to find your favorite show, scroll through the mini playlists, or simply use the search bar to type in the name of the program.
Are you kidding me? I wish I knew about this earlier.
Visit 82gov.org/watchctn for CTN live streams and video on demand.
That's great. Now I can go tell my friends once I leave. So, how do I get out of here?
Goodbye.
Hello? How do I get back to my life? I've got stuff to do. I mean, hello? Hello? Okay, I mean, I thought there'd be more to my life, but this is it?
Welcome back, everybody, to the start of the second quarter here, back again at Hill Pool, where we've got the Pioneers taking on the Huron River Rats. Kevin, what did we see that first quarter?
Well, a lot of transition, a lot of feeling out, a lot of getting to know each other, especially after playing just a couple days ago. These teams, they know each other. They know their sets. They know their offense and defense. So they know each other so well. That's what we had in that first period, Nick. A lot of back and forth, but not a lot of high-quality shots on net.
No, you're right on. Again, we've seen the strengths and the weaknesses of both these squads kind of at the forefront for both, and that was definitely what the first quarter was about. And we'll see if there are adjustments made or if we're just going to keep pushing on through.
Well, you can see already from just the Pioneers' offensive set. They're closer in, you know, and that's something that Coach Hart probably had brought up to his team at that break is we need to be a little bit more aggressive on the offensive end.
No, you're definitely right. But again, here we are once again. There's another 30-second violation.
Yeah.
There's another shot clock violation by the Pioneers.
And they fooled me. I mean, the Pioneers takes the ball right outside that 5-meter mark, and they never really cracked it inside. Nothing dropped down inside the hole.
And that was something huge that Coach Hart told me about. There at the top of your screen, you can see him in his khaki shorts jumping up and down a little bit. You know, he said that it's so critical for his team, especially at this point right now where Kurzakowski is, just find that first pass and communicate. You know, he talked about their big issue last week against Skyline was no communication. And it's critical to communicate, let your people know, and then just act on it. Don't wait for something better. See something and then take it.
Well, defense wins championships. That's exactly what the River Rats are about right now. There is not any kind of space in between the shooters for the Pioneers and the River Rats.
That being said, there was Mary Beth Melcher, one of the top scorers for the Pioneers, just firing a shot from a little ways out, just a little bit wide. And here we're back on the offensive attack with the River Rats. A little bit of a hold there by Mary DeBana. They're going to set into that center driving position. Now try to maybe look for that whole set position. But again, excellent defense by the Pioneers.
Yeah, not a lot of communication right now going on between the River Rats. It looks like a lot of holding the ball and not moving it around. Actually, a lot of wet passes as well, so it's really slowing that offense down.
And again, the wet shots are one thing, but the wet pass is not exactly ideal for what you want. Not ideal for receiving and getting turning good look at that goal.
So right now, Nick, all the action's in center pool.
Yeah, you saw Leon right there. You see Michaela Saukinen right now bringing it up. Then a long cross pool pass over to Elena Baker.
And we are going to get a penalty there, Nick. Someone's going over into the box.
Looks like that is number 11, Grace Steffen. Great point blank save by Emma Packard on that one. Just great positioning, sniffed that one out, and she was right there for it.
Yeah, Clyde tried to find Leon right outside, but again, the pass was not controlled. You can see right here where it hits the water, gave the netminder Packard enough time to recover.
That's a great call on a not controlled pass. Again, you got to think that if she gets that like on the swivel right there on her hand, she can spin around a little quicker and get that shot. Yep.
Either way, I mean, that's why they say this sport really lends itself to people with those large hands,
Sure.
Those mittens that they can just suck up that ball and turn and use it any way they want to.
No, you're definitely not wrong about that. Another long pass up to the whole set position there, looking for Sophie Flott.
Kruzakowski playing some good defense there. Sometimes it's smart to take a minor penalty, especially when you're not inside that 2-meter mark.
Yeah, if you're going to slow somebody down, especially when we've already established that a big part of Huron's game is their speed, is their driving force, not their perimeter. Yeah, take a quick penalty and slow them down. Like that's a win-win right there.
I can see the arm from Packard on that outlet pass right there. She not only found the person that she wanted to, but the area.
Oh, for sure. And again, that's a senior veteran player right there, knowing where your players need to be or leading your players where they should be.
Not where they're at, right?
Right.
So that was a turnover, well, a penalty on Huron where we got a new shot clock.
And we do have Kristen Clyde in the exclusion area currently. Play up to Susan Dowling right now. Defensive winger right there. Nice lead pass into Michaela Saukinen there. Saukinen actually a transfer from Finland, or an exchange student from Finland, excuse me.
And yeah, you were saying this is not her first choice of sports?
No, she said she plays hockey on a pretty high level over in Finland. When she came here, it's not hockey season, obviously. She wanted to play lacrosse, but she deemed it, quote, not enough contact for her. So she picked up water polo, and she's just been fantastic.
So if we had that underwater cam, we'd probably see a bunch of contact.
You might
from
see some shenanigans
the hockey
under there.
player playing water polo.
Yes. Great one-handed dive. Great one-handed diving save by Faith Baker right there. Definitely saved her team a goal on that one.
Really did a good job of covering that wide side of the net. She just popped up out of the water right at the right time, Nick.
And again, that was an excellent pass and a great reception there by Starasta. But again, Baker just in the exact right spot and really showed her athleticism and leg strength on that. I mean, she's been treading water for well over a half an hour here, and then she still made that kind of diving move to get the hand on that. It's impressive. It really is impressive what these players are capable of.
Well, I mean, how often are you in the pool where you get a little bit tired? Just want to touch the bottom for a second. Yeah, catch your breath for a minute. Not here.
Can't do it. No, can't do it.
Wrong sport for that.
Can't do it. And again, you mentioned it. We covered the Pioneers and the Skyline Eagles last week, 7 days ago. Each of these squads have played 3 matches since then.
That's incredible, the amount of stamina that they have. They've always said back in the day when we were, talking about the different athletes and what they bring to the table, the swimmers, they always had that stamina, man.
No, for sure. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. There we got a shot of Coach Will Hart, once again his 17th season coaching water polo. And his coaching tree is growing. Again, Coach Gottliebson obviously played under him. Coach Godick also. There you see Michael Gottliebson in his 4th season as the River Rats head coach.
Yeah, Will Hart really has his fingertips all over, not just the girls, but as well as the boys, water polo in the city of Ann Arbor for the better part of 2 decades.
Yes.
Playing, coaching.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, as you see some wide shots of this pool area, you're going to see all the swimming championships and the water polo championships, and just year after year after year after year after year. And that's just the ones that they've won. He laughs and jokes, says, "Don't talk to me about all the second place finishes."
Well, that, and you just glance around. I mean, this building itself has had some historic swimmers in it, of course, over the years. But just looking at the banners, it's amazing. This is like a Hall of Fame pool.
For sure. You're not wrong about that at all. Which explains why Game of the Week is here today.
Well, each time,
And
after a timeout.
There we go. That's Elena Baker putting the ball in the twine for the very first goal of our contest here at 2:09.
So can I finish my thought?
Please.
I was going to say, after each timeout, what we've been seeing is a lot of adjustments from coaches, and they'll come in with a play, and 9 times out of 10, it seems like, Nick, they're finding the back of the net. Good job.
You were about to say that?
It was on the tip of my tongue, man. Come on.
Somebody should pay you for doing this.
Oof. Not much, though.
And here we'll see the Pioneers working it around a little bit. Again, that perimeter offense just not quite what they want it to be. Not finding those open players. Faith Baker pushes it out quickly. Susan Dowling, as usual. We'll see a lot of right to left movement here with the River Rats moving their offense forward.
There's never a quit on a Will Hart team. We saw it last week. The Pioneers may be down, but there's no give up. So usually seems like when they actually turn that light switch on and the offense may even come up a tick.
No, you're definitely right. And again, it might be just like a halftime adjustment. It might be a timeout adjustment, but things will definitely change. Here we'll see that opportunity there.
You can see Packard just eyeballing the player.
And again, nobody from the River Rats has really shown to have a very powerful arm yet. So just being in the right position is really the key factor for Packard or the Pioneer defense.
Well, you're exactly right, Nick, on that goal. They just caught Packard out of position, and it was a quick shot. I think when the Huron team possesses the ball and they're not as deliberate with their shot taking, they're playing right into Emma Packard's cards.
No, you're definitely right. And again, that's your veteran leader right there. That's your senior netminder that'll do something like that. And with only 40 seconds to go here in this first half, we'll see if the Pioneers can mount any sort of offense. They've got 19 seconds to go on their shot clock, 34 on the game clock. And whose name we probably called but once here is Mary Beth Melcher.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say her, just because she was the trigger of the offense for Pioneer in the last match that we had here on the Game of the Week. And I want to say she's only had 1 shot on goal.
That sounds about right. Again, that's unofficial by all means, but I'd say you're probably correct on that. Here we go as the clock ticks down from 8. Everybody's yelling to keep an eye on Packer in case she might do something dangerous. But they'll just take it easy and just run this half out. And we will also run this half out. So, with 1 half of ladies water polo under our belts, Kevin, The Huron River Rats have a 1-0 lead over the Pioneers.
Hoarders, flat earthers, Mike Rafone to a troll army. Autism is real. Palestinian politics. Baklava. Misquestional. Beast forehead people. Demonic devices. Diverse viewpoints. Dynamic personalities. 30 minutes. Contact CTN to schedule your show on Access Ann Arbor. And I'm talking to you, buddy.
We want everyone in Ann Arbor to be safe. Which is why Ann Arbor has a law requiring drivers to be 5 feet while passing bicyclists, pedestrians, or wheelchairs traveling on the road. Most traffic lanes within the city are at least 10 feet wide, so give half a lane width of space for safety's sake. This is a good way to measure how much space is required. And if it isn't safe to pass, don't. Be cautious, be patient, and most of all, be safe.
Welcome back, everybody. Second half action is just underway. We'll have the face-off right here between Huron River Rats, the Pioneers, ladies water polo. Score of 1-0 in favor of the River Rats. Elena Baker scoring the lone goal in that first half. Kevin, what else were we treated to in that first half there?
Just a lot of defense, a lot of passing, not a lot of goal scoring, and a lot of that. Not a lot of hard shots on the net from both sides, Nick, and not a lot of blocks from the netminders because they're not finding in between the cage. So for both teams, hopefully you'll see more robust offensive effort and actually just more shots on goal.
Sure. Again, obviously that's the main goal right there. That's the main gag with the sport or any sport as a whole. But no, you're right. Again, we've seen a lot of shot clock penalties on both squads, and the River Rats' key to their offense is a lot of fast breaking, is the utilization of their speed, and we haven't really seen that opened up yet here in this game.
And Pioneer this year, we've said it several times, they're not blessed with a lot of like that big shot makers. That shot is not going to count because it was after the whistle. So they're actually informing both benches that goal was not going to count. But Pioneer's regrouping. They are trying to develop, shooters that can do just what we just saw, just like that, and that would get this squad and this program back to where they're at. This record this year isn't an indication of the type of teams that Will Hart puts out in these pools.
And you do know who fired that shot from, a third of the way across the pool.
Number 5.
That's Mary Beth Melcher, who we just said we barely said her name here today.
Well, when you bring up Mary Beth, Nick, of course, any type of offensive player doesn't like to have that type of half, and then they start pressing and start finding shots from all kinds of angles. So we may even see they're actually going to count that after discussion.
There you go.
There's a big discussion. That's why we're trying to play that out. We saw both officials go to both benches, and they decided that was a good goal.
And, yeah, it must have made, Coach Hart must have pleaded his case, and both of our officials saw it that same way, and we are all tied up 1-1.
Well, you like to see that, Nick, a conversation between the two officials. Maybe one outruled the other, but hey, as opposed to just one person going with their gut call and not sharing the knowledge of the other official, good job by these guys.
And you make a call in the moment, you know, you can be wrong a lot. So to be the ability to have both officials there, obviously, and for you to say, hey, you know what, you're right on that one. That's what it's all about, is getting things correct. That's all any player ever wants when they're playing a sport like this.
Well, and you go back to the shooter, Mary Beth Melcher. That was great, and there she goes again. She's firing shots now. Didn't see any kind of action like that in the first half.
But there you see that quick outlet pass right there.
Just to finish that thought just on Melcher, I mean, this is a player that likes to find the back of the net, so she's probably anxious and told Coach Hart, I'm ready.
No, you're definitely right. You know, and I'm sure Coach Hart probably told her, you need to get the ball and you need to fire away when you do get it.
And she timed that last one very well. Another penalty coming up here. It looks like it's going to go up against the Pioneers.
You saw a nice lob pass around there. Yes, indeed. I believe that's Kurzakowski heading to the exclusion area right now. You see the Riverettes, slowly working it in. Oh, crossbar shot.
Stymied, goalie's best friend. Oh, what a save.
Great save, great save. Great shot there by Anna Leon. But again, Emma Packard right where she needs to be. Great positioning and no fear of getting in the way of that shot.
That's kind of one of the first fastballs we've seen outside the goal by the River Rats. Unfortunately, just a tad bit high, caught that top post.
And with 9 seconds left in the exclusion penalty, you can see the River Rats starting to work it around again. But to no avail, Emma Packard will start off the Pioneers offense right here, right now.
You see Packard right now in the net. Look at her eyeballing. Couldn't get there, but closed off any kind of open windows, Nick. But this right here, this save, this is money.
A great rebound by Leon on that one. Here we see that River Rat offense just speeding up the pool. Led by Anna Leon, just again a really, really quick from that whole set position, driving forward with two of her teammates on each wing area. But again, not a lot of power, not a lot of sauce behind that shot.
And you can see right here, Leon, sophomore, you're going to learn over a couple years, that's a great time for that wet shot. Going cross cage, wide open.
Or even made a little fake, little deke also. But
yeah,
easy for us to say out here. We're pretty dry.
I like it that way.
Another big, long shot from Mary Beth Melcher. It just seems like if she gets the ball, she's just going to fire away now.
Well, similar to baseball, Nick, where you can hear it coming off a bat. You can tell that's a different player. When you see the shot off of the arm of Melcher, it's different.
Oh, for sure. Again, she really gets up. She really does a great job extending and getting some torque on that. That's Anna Leon once again. That's sophomore Leon ran that one.
Yeah, and on a couple of Leon shots, maybe a follow-through is needed because a couple of them are just a bit high.
For sure. And again, Packard barely even moved. She knew that that one was nowhere near the net. There you see Melcher. And the Pioneers just going to work it around in their perimeter offense a little bit. No room for Melcher, though.
Well, and now you see a couple River Rats. She's, guarded there by Elena Baker, and it looked like Leon kind of came in and helped out after those two big shots. Maybe they're not finding the back of the net, but the River Rats know what type of player Melcher is.
And again, I think that they had things a certain way. They may have repositioned Melcher a little bit, and then they've just put her in this new position where she's gotten a little more opportunity, a little more breathing room. For lack of a better term, so she can see the net and try to fire some shots off.
Now on the flip side, the River Rats, they're finding a lot more shots on goal, and that's a positive for the Rats team. Trying to add to their, trying to get back up on top.
That's a great shot of Sophia Flott right there, coming in, cutting in, finding that ball, and then just all in one swooping motion taking that shot.
Yeah, and Nick, you mentioned it a moment ago, but maybe a couple dekes on the shots from just inside the doorstep, especially when they're getting right inside that 2-meter mark, because Packard is eyeballing, and she has great reaction to really track that shot and block them out of the way.
No, you're spot on that. And again, it's easy to be dry armchair quarterbacks, but again, a little fake, little misdirection I think could go a long way for both these squads, really.
Oh, good move there.
Really nice spin-a-rooney type move there by Kristen Clyde.
And Melcher right there on the defense. Melcher came off of her man and did a good job of coming in and taking that pass. It was a wet pass for the right River Rat player to come to, but before either one could get there, Melcher came in and intercepted it.
Yeah, despite that slick twist move, again, not really fooling any of those players on the Pioneer end. Once again, Coach Mike Gottliebson talking to his girls. Again, we talk about calling these timeouts, making these adjustments, the proper X's and O's. Both of these guys know how to do it. Again, the success of these programs speaks for itself. So what they're talking about right now definitely needs to be listened to.
Yeah, and if I'm Coach Gottliebson right there for the River Rats, I'm thinking, okay, what is my mentor thinking?
Sure.
What's he going to do so
Sure.
I can counter?
Yeah.
But
What plays did he call up for us in these times?
in these
days?
situations,
Yeah.
correct. Because immediately after the turnover, Coach Hart turned to the officials, asked for the timeout. So it's definitely something up that sleeve, even though he's sleeveless.
No, he's sleeveless. He's got shorts on. That dude's living the dream. He comes to work every day. He can just rock some shorts and some sneakers. That's
Always
great.
going to the pool, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's always 70 degrees in here.
Man.
It's always money in here.
Well, on the flip side, he'll never have a rain out.
Yeah. There you go.
You schedule the match, it is done.
It's on. It's going on. That's exactly right. To be fair, I have had a game canceled in water polo.
You're kidding.
Swear.
Why?
It was about 4 or 5 years ago.
wait a minute.
Too much chlorine in the pool.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
I want to keep it nice.
Not a Caddyshack problem
I
at all.
was thinking of a candy bar
Nothing
might
like
have flew
that,
in and clean out the pool time.
Nope, I was on my way out to work. I got a call from our venerable director and said game's canceled. I thought he was kidding with me. There we go as both teams break with 1:56 to go in this third quarter.
Man, I think that was a little bit longer than a 30 or 60-second timeout.
Kind of felt like it,
yeah.
but I'll tell you who's not complaining about that. It's the River Rats and their short squad. There you see Packer going to start things off.
Again, you don't see a lot of balls thrown right inside to the hole, and that's a good job by the River Rats of, lurking on Melcher and stealing that pass.
And Flat was right on that, and now she's just leading the way, leading the entire pack up the pool. So maybe that's why you're not seeing anybody going up the center. They just know what kind of speed the River Rats have between Flat or Baker or Clyde.
Looks like we're going to have a penalty shot here.
There you've got Kristen Clyde measuring up Packard, taking a close look. Got a long stance on that, long, high, arcing arm angle.
Great job.
She did actually get a little bit out of the pool. She utilized that long wingspan, that long straight arm, but again, just couldn't sneak it past Packard.
And that's amazing to be able to have that type of power to pop right up out of the cage. You can see her just sitting there waiting. And it's almost like she gets up on a pedestal to jump up.
Yeah, again, she's been in that pool this entire match, swimming back and forth, treading water, whatever extracurriculars that go on underneath the water, and she's still got the strength for that. And there's a shot that just beats the shot clock.
And are they going to count that as a goal?
That seemed like that was a good one by Jenny Kurzakowski.
Yes, indeed. But Pioneers really eating that shot clock up right down to the end. And both goals scored with, less than 2 seconds on the clock, Nick.
Yeah, they just barely beat the shot clock on both their goals. Great shot up in the high corner there. Again, just a lot of the differentiation between the two teams. You got those big power shots for the Pioneers. Huron doesn't really seem to have that portion of their game going on, but it's a great tool if you've got it. And again, that's something you can't really teach.
Yeah, and the shot there was, like you said, it was a powerful shot because it didn't, have an eye on the top shelf or anything. It really kind of went right through the hands of the netminder Baker. You can see Krezakowski's right here. She's eyeballing the shot right away. And you can see the hands from the netminder not together, wide apart, and not even blocking the shot.
But again, it was great job by the outlet pass for the Pioneers to see cross pool, that kind of like slash mark so far away, to see that Kurzakowski was dead wide open and to get her the ball and get her a ball that she could receive and then take that shot with.
Well, last 2 times up the pool, the River Rats have been kind of coming off of Melcher and kind of trying to double team. Not sure. That was a quick turnover, so that wasn't the case there. But I'm sure for the Rats bench right now, they're reminding those players in the pool, man first, ball second.
Sure, absolutely.
Do not leave anyone open for an outside shot.
Nope, you're completely right. And again, that's what has got to be driven up and hammered home right here, probably in those timeouts right here, right now. And again, Coach Hart is going to keep telling his girls, keep this up. Keep finding your people. When you get the ball, don't hesitate. You know, again, that's what he was just hammering home to me before this match. He doesn't want his girls to hesitate. If they see something, just use your instincts and go with it. Exactly.
Yeah, when you start to think, that's when that door closes.
Exactly. Completely true. You've got.
So here's a play where some screens were set to begin with. Didn't cause a lot of room for the Rats to have any kind of open lanes or looks at the shot. And somebody just got a souvenir.
Yeah, that's a wet souvenir once again. Like, you know, if it's raining outside, that's fine, but you're going to get that a little bit in here. You've got our inlet pass to see the Pioneers try to work around again. There's Kurzakowski, the most recent goal scorer. But once again, Kristen Clyde doing excellent job on defense right there. Not just playing well up against her man, but making some takeaways.
Well, and really anticipating that pass very well and getting right in between the player, Kurzakowski.
And Clyde is really fast. Again, it seems like when she gets the ball, she's just out in front and she's just leading the entire pack up the pool. And another exclusion penalty for the Pioneers, and we'll see the Rats just work around, try to see if they can kind of slowly slink in a little bit. And there they were, taking you up on what you were saying, try to get a little wet shot on that one. Try to use a little misdirection and see if you can bounce one under Packard as opposed to trying to keep firing one over her. Not to any success, but an opportunity nonetheless. You can see the Rats working that one around. So again, in the third quarter, we've got 1:40 to go, and another timeout called. I believe that one was by Gottliebsen.
Actually, that it looked like it was the expiration of that last period, and I think that was the final shot of the period. So we're just in another break right now in between we begin the fourth period, and you know both teams are going to have to regroup coming into this final period, and especially for the Rats, I like their play as far as shots on goal. They're just going to maybe have to do a better job of passing it around the perimeter and keeping that ball dry to maybe get, like you were saying, Nick, a quick shot on goal and not, holding on to it.
Yeah, no, you're totally right about that. It was so fast, I just barely missed it. We are going to take a quick break here with 53 seconds to go in between third and fourth quarter. Stick around. We'll be right back with fourth quarter action for CTN's Game of the Week. here we go, everybody. Thanks again for sticking around for the fourth quarter of CTN's Game of the Week here at Hill Pool. We've had an exciting, fast-paced game, faster than we could even keep track of at certain points. But here we go at the start of the fourth quarter. 2 goals scored in that third quarter, Kevin. One by Mary Beth Melcher and one by Jenny Kurzakowski. The Pioneers now have a 2-1 lead at their home pool against the Huron River Rats.
Hey, they couldn't set it up any better for Coach Hart. They came out in that the beginning of that second half, the third period, and really played well and was very successful executing their offense.
Yeah, the opportunities that they got, they definitely took advantage of with some big, strong shots to get past Huron's goaltender, Faith Baker.
And we keep going back to Coach Hart's experience. I mean, it's playing out. The Rats, they have 5 players that are, 5 players that are seniors out here in the pool. So to take a young squad, as Coach Hart has, and to match up a team that you just lost to for the second time a couple days ago, good job so far in this match.
And, you know, we'll just keep talking about it between experience and just excellent coaching. That's what you do. You learn from your mistakes and you coach up your team.
And the Pioneers are playing a good game plan right now. You know, they started out that first period very methodical, not a lot of shots on goal. Second period, maybe a little bit more aggressive. They did get that one shot, but again, that third period, it all came together for Coach Hart's squad.
And with only a couple of exceptions, it seems that they've really neutralized Huron's offense. Huron's superior their speed.
Well, the one that's really doing it is number 1 in the cage.
For sure.
Emma Packard's been great. We saw her a couple times on some double blocks where she had the post on her side too, goalie's best friend, but then pops out of the water for a rebound to block. That is really keeping these Pioneers, ahead in this match.
We see Mary Beth Melcher once again from more that center area, a little further away. Kurzakowski on the shot on that one. Again, you know, when we saw her last week, she barely took any shots, if any shots at all. So seeing her and that arm of hers has been a lot of fun tonight.
Well, and a lot of it has to be from what Coach Hart saw in the previous 2 matches about taking someone who was more of an igniter of the offense, turning Kurzakowski into more of a shooter.
For sure.
There's an open cage there. Good job by the Pioneers defense.
There's long outlet to Kurzakowski, as we see so often.
The Rats are going to have to step it up on the defense, and you saw how fast they can get up the pool. Maybe take advantage of an error by the Pioneers to even this match up. Alley-oop there, man.
It looked like a long inbound pass. It just went just a little bit over the head of Grace Steffen. There you see those River Rat long passes, what they're known for, and streaking, driving up the pool quickly.
And there again on the shot on goal, not a difficult shot for Packer to stop. And I think the Rats on shots like that need to be a little bit more patient, Nick.
No, you're definitely right. You know, Baker was pretty much falling away when she kind of like tossed that towards the goal. Not an ideal shot, not an ideal place to be when you're trying to score a goal.
They always say it's tough to beat a team 3 times in one season,
right.
And we're seeing that right now. On records, you would think that Rats would be just totally up in the scoreboard.
But again, that's another thing. That's another hallmark of Coach Hart's teams. You know, his teams, he works them to get better, and their goal is always getting towards the state tournament, which is still a solid 4 weeks off.
Yes.
You know, so as they're improving, you know, they'll hit milestones along the way.
And in that Region 4 that they're in, they can swim with any team in that region.
For sure. Tried the old lob shot over Packard. Packard, again, nice job being in the correct position, cut off the angle, and still could kind of fall back and pull that one in, make sure nothing got past her.
And take a look there. She does a good job, Packard, of tracking the ball. She
Absolutely.
does a good job. She doesn't take her eye off of that ball when it gets down inside the scoring area.
Oh, and there we go. Another goal for the Pioneers right here, right there. That was Rachel Starasta on that one. So with 3:04 to go in the fourth period, the Pioneers take a 3-1 lead. Starasta with a great long shot. Again, I'm basically doing what the River Rats just attempted to do on their previous time up the pool right there.
Well, there was a lot more, I would just say, energy behind that shot.
Sure.
A lot more touch on it, and it had an eyeball to in the corner of the cage. When that last shot by the Rats, it was just like tossed towards Emma Packard, and easy shot. That, my friends, was a great goal.
No, you're definitely right. Well done, well executed all around. And again, that's hats off to Pioneer. They are taking the advantage of their given opportunities, and we've seen some really good passing by this squad all across. And now, it's one thing to make the pass, but you got to receive that pass as well, and then execute on the shot when you get them.
Well, I wonder how much mental fatigue is setting in, Nick, for the River Rats, not just being down to only one person that's on the bench, but playing as many games as these players play. Full day of school, now you're out here in the pool. How much upstairs are you thinking about, we already beat this team a couple times, we really don't need this win? What's the effort like right now in the fourth period?
Sure. I mean, and again, you talk about the mental aspects. That's possibly there. But again, the physical aspects are most definitely there.
Oh, definitely.
That's something that Coach Gottliebson told me. He told me before the game, we're 11-2. The 2 losses that we had were strictly due because we were tired. And you might be seeing a little bit of that right here, right now.
Well, this is a play that I'm sure that the Rats have had as one that we can make, because they called their last time out. They definitely need this possession to find the back of the net.
Sure, with 2:54 left to go here in this fourth period, you need to get on the board or put another one on the board. Oh, nice save by Packard, though. Once again, just kind of like jumping out of the pool, getting one hand on it, just enough to knock it down, bat it away a little bit, and then get her team going up the pool again.
I know they check nails at the beginning of this sport. I wonder if they check the netminder's nails, because they're not really around anyone, but that was a nail. She used every single inch of her fingers and nails to get that one.
You see Mary Beth Meltzer with another big, heavy shot there, just sailed over the crossbar there, a little bit of a field goal shot.
And Pioneer right now, Nick, they do not have to change their MO. They got here by playing shot clock all the way down and then taking a shot. They can continue to play the exact same style which got them here to this point, and they're doing twofold. They're working the clock and keeping the ball out of the possession of the River Rats.
And they're for sure, they've been biding their time. And again, they did have a few of those 30-second penalties early on in the game, but they knew that was part of their game plan. That's what they've been heading towards, and again, they've executed when they needed to. And yeah, no rush by Packard here. There's going to be no rush by Krzyzkowski here.
Well, there's a turnover for the Rats. They need to do something here.
You can see Elena Baker just going full speed, going right by Krzyzkowski. Again, Baker going full speed. Let's see how Packard can play this one, though. Great job, great positioning. She was just dialed into that ball the entire way, dialed in the entire time. And we got a timeout called by Coach Wilhart.
That was a good play. I was going to say by Jenny Krzyzkowski coming back on the defensive end and really helping out Packard, getting in the way of the shot. Who was that? Was that Baker on the shot there?
It was. Yep.
Yeah, and it was a good job of coming back in. And she got kind of deked out in the middle of the pool, but fought back hard to get back in position and didn't allow a clean shot on the net.
And there you can see Emma Packard, too, totally eye of the tiger, never taking her eye off the ball, but she's still communicating. You can see her mouthing orders to someone, or all of her players also. That's just a great veteran player right there. That's a great netminder that is aware of what's coming at her, obviously, but what else around the entire pool.
And
just excellent play.
Really focused on the player coming right at her, but you did a good job, Nick, of looking at. She did mention something to the outside person to her left, just in case that there was a quick pass over there. Get in position.
Again,
the poise. I was just going to say the poise. The poise. She's sitting there, allowing the person to come. Didn't come out of the net too soon. Allowed the player to come to them, and then cut off the angle.
And that really can be the difference between somebody who's played this sport for 4 straight years versus somebody that might only be a sophomore. Again, your poise, your confidence, your ease. Early on, you're not going to have those things. Doesn't matter how much talent you have. You might not have those things at your disposal. Experience goes a long way.
Sure does, and that for any team that has a net sport, you always start with who's going to be in between the pipes, and definitely for Coach Hart, that's a keeper, Emma Packard. I'm sure he wants to put it in the bottle for a couple more years.
Yeah, definitely has a winner there. You're not wrong. And we are about to get started here. Got our officials giving the thumbs up.
Was that to you?
Sure.
Nice.
Here we see the Pioneers working it around again. Kurzakowski, she did have an open look there, but again, veteran play, not to just fire off a shot unnecessarily. They're going to try to kill some clock. 12 seconds left on the shot clock, 1:17 to go here in the fourth period, and they're taking their time. Just a little bit wide there, by Starasta, our most recent goal scorer. And here you're going to see the Rats hustling up Poole, as they've done the entire game, but a little bit more of urgency right here, right now, with 1:02 left to go.
It's a good job playing outside the defense, not allowing that offensive player to have a clean look. The Rats don't have the luxury of taking the shot clock down.
Right.
They need to shoot it when it's open.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And again, no rush, no hustle on the end of the Pioneers. They're going to milk the shot clock again. Halfway done. We're at 15 seconds before Packard even ditches that thing out to her outlet pass. Still a solid job of finding her hole set position right there, though. Just couldn't quite find the handle on that one.
Oh, wow.
And we do appear to have advantage Pioneers on that one.
Yeah, and that's going to do it for the shot clock as well.
You're completely correct.
So without a timeout, Huron's really stymied. They're really going to have to get the ball up Poole very fast.
Yeah, they're going to need something really special for them to happen. Although we've got a little bit of a stoppage here. I think our officials might go to chat things out.
Are they going to the replay booth?
They might be. They're going to go under the hood. I hope they're not going to our replay booth. I don't need any more people over here. It's tight, just you and me, Kevin. Here we got our both officials. That's Charles McGillivray, Chalmers McGillivray on the left.
Chuck.
And I'm not making that up. I am not making that up. I wrote that down. And on the right, you real water polo heads out there might recognize Mateo Prokop, who was a player for the Skyline Eagles. It is indeed. This is his second year officiating. There he is, state champ, Mateo Prokop.
Nice. See, that's why this area does such a good job of recycling the players, turn them into coaches, turn them into officials. And this area has some of the best AAU teams. Lindsay over at Skyline, one of the coaches for the local AAU team, along with Coach Hart with his program as well, too.
Well, yeah, I mean, with anything, if you're great at something and you're really good at it, you're going to enjoy it, you're going to stick with it. Whether it's going on to be a coach, whether it's going on to be an official, or just something like that.
Or an announcer.
Stick with it. Or an announcer. And here we go as we are about to get going here. We have only 22 seconds left to go in this fourth period. You see McGillivray over there talking up Coach Hart. What they're discussing, I could not venture a guess.
Yeah, no.
Nor do I want to, but so. It's probably not about the weather.
Yeah, but what really just happened here? We had a timeout.
Seemed that way.
I mean, that really plays into play for Huron. I know they don't have possession of the ball, which is going to get tossed into the other end of the pool sometime today. But
is it, though? Is it going to get tossed into the pool sometime today?
I'm not sure, because the official is looking right down at the Huron bench.
Yeah, McGillivray is not giving that guy up. A second ago, he had two hands on it. He was just, it was defended well. We can say he was defended well.
It sounds like they're trying to decide if there's still time remaining on the shot clock before that there was a change of possession.
Oh, okay.
So now everyone is trying to figure out if we need to go back and put some extra time on the clock. Or they're ordering dinner.
I'm okay with that too. We've got some outstanding Chinese places out here in this general area. Yeah, it's a true story.
So now we're going to have.
All right, just so everybody knows, there is 5 more seconds on the clock and shot clock.
Somebody heard me talking. Somebody heard me talking.
I could not give you enough props, partner, for knowing that is exactly what was going on. 5 more seconds.
5 more seconds on the clock.
Whether you were lip reading over there at the announcer's booth or you just saw that coming, that was kind of amazing. Kind of amazing knowing what was going on.
Want to know the lottery numbers?
I could. Impressive, impressive. So we'll go from 22 seconds to oh, there we go. So still 22 seconds left to go. No shot clock regardless.
And then there you go.
Kind of all for naught as they turn the ball over. And there you got, is that Dowling once again pushing up forward? It is Susan Dowling. And here we go as the clock ticks down 2-1. That will do it for this game right here, ladies water polo. Pioneers come out ahead. Score 3-1 over their crosstown rival River Rats. Stick around, Kevin's gonna go and talk to someone and we will be right back with you.
And welcome back to the CTN Sports Game of the Week. I'm joined now with my player of the game, Emma Packard. Emma, we were going back and forth how well you bounce up out of the water and get those shots. And now I'm standing next to you and I'm really impressed because of your size. I mean, what do you do to propel yourself out of the water so well and block those shots?
So it's just basic egg beatering, but we put in a lot of time in mornings and afternoons. Like strengthening legs, just like going. And then also with this team in particular, we know they have really good lob shooters. So that was one thing with tracking, like you gotta wait. And so I didn't pop too soon, which is something that's happened before. So gotta hold it.
Well, you did a great job. And for us, we didn't know that. So one last question for you. This is a big win for you going up against your, crosstown team. What do you think it'll do for you, your entire squad for the remaining part of the season?
Yeah, so we've had a lot of close games against rivals this year so far, but we haven't been able to pull any out yet. So I think this is a really good, not only victory, but moral victory because we showed ourselves that we can win these close games.
Well, congratulations on a good win.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Nick, we're going to send it back over to you and close out our CTN Sports Game of the Week.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. And as usual, we need to thank everybody that makes this broadcast possible. We've got Jamie Chu and Jill Andrews on camera, Gage Shaughnessy doing audio and replay, and our director in the truck is Rob Cross. For Kevin Bryan, I'm Nick Wisniewski for CTN's Game of the Week. Once again, Pioneer 3 here on River Rats 1. We'll see you all next time.